Welcome back to the channel where rare coins turn into real treasure. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and extraordinary story behind one of the most sought-after Lincoln pennies ever minted in the United States, the 1972 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin. You might be holding onto a coin that looks just like this one, but what separates an ordinary 1972 D penny from one worth a staggering $86,379? Let's uncover the fascinating history, the minting quirks, and the market forces that transformed a humble 1-cent coin into a prized collector's item. The birth of the 1972 D penny. The year was 1972, and the Denver Mint was operating at full speed. Over 2.6 billion 1-cent coins were struck that year at the Denver facility, marked by the signature D Mint mark just below the date on the obverse, or front, of the coin. These pennies featured the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that had remained largely unchanged since Victor David Brenner introduced it in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial still stood proudly, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears seen on earlier cents. Why so many? And why one stands out with billions of coins minted? You may be wondering how a single penny could ever be worth over $86,000. The answer lies in a remarkable mint error combined with perfect preservation. In the case of this rare 1972 D. Lincoln penny, the coin is believed to have been struck using a proof die by mistake. Proof dies are typically used for high-quality collector coins and are carefully polished to a mirror finish. When these dies accidentally find their way onto the production floor for regular business strike coins, the result can be a coin with unusually sharp detail and a satiny or mirrored finish, a glaring difference to the trained eye. Some experts believe the valuable 1972 D specimen was a result of multiple striking errors, including potential double dies, die polishing anomalies, and even improper planchet metal composition, though that remains speculative. This rare combination, especially if caught in near-perfect condition and with no signs of circulation wear, pushes it into numismatic legend. What makes this coin worth $86,379? In the world of coin collecting, rarity is only half the equation. The other half is condition. The specific 1972 D. Lincoln penny we're talking about today was certified by one of the top grading services in the world as being in mint state 67 red condition. That's almost flawless, with full red luster, as if it had just left the press. Coins in this pristine state are incredibly rare, especially for a coin that was never meant to be collected but simply used in everyday transactions. The other factor driving its value is demand. As collectors worldwide hunt for ultra-rare Lincoln cents, this particular coin represents a once-in-a-lifetime find. Add in that it was sold through a major auction house, which provides authentication, visibility, and competitive bidding, and you have the perfect storm for an astronomical sale price, a mind-blowing $86,379. How you can identify a valuable 1972 D penny? So, what should you look for if you think you have a 1972 D. Lincoln cent in your collection or pocket change? Here's what you want to check. First, look for the D Mint mark under the date. Second, examine the coin's surface. Does it have an unusually high gloss or mirror-like finish? Next, use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for doubling, especially around the lettering or Lincoln's profile. These are signs of a possible double die. Finally, condition is critical. If the coin shows no signs of wear, no scratches, no dulling, and retains a bright red copper color, you may have something special. But even if your coin isn't in perfect condition, it's still worth getting it professionally graded. A professional appraisal can verify whether your penny might belong to one of the rare misstrikes that command high prices. Don't clean the coin; that can actually ruin its value. Just store it safely and take it to an expert. The current market and what comes next. As of today, the coin market continues to thrive. Rare coins like the 1972 D. Lincoln cent with proven auction histories and certified grades are being aggressively pursued by collectors, investors, and even institutions looking to diversify their assets. The $86,379 figure represents a peak auction price, but it also sets a benchmark for future sales of similarly rare coins. It reflects a growing appreciation for American numismatic history and the incredibly fine margins that separate common coins from priceless artifacts. If the coin market continues to rise, and interest in U.S. mint errors and Lincoln cents remains high, we could see prices climb even higher for coins like this one. So check your piggy banks, old coin jars, and inherited collections. You never know, that copper-colored penny in the back of your drawer might just be the next big headline in the world of rare coins. Thank you for watching. The story of the 1972 D. Lincoln penny teaches us that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Keep collecting, keep learning, and keep looking. Your next coin might be worth more than you think. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update from the world of valuable currency. Until next time, happy collecting, and may fortune smile upon your next find. Hey coin collectors, treasure hunters, and Lincoln cent lovers. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the most incredible finds in coin collecting history. Today, we're diving into a truly rare and fascinating piece of American numismatic lore, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. Believe it or not, this unassuming little copper-colored coin, which you might easily overlook in your pocket change, could be worth up to $58,295. That's right, $58,000 for a single penny. But why? What makes this coin so special? How can a coin that was minted in the millions become so incredibly valuable? Sit tight as we dig deep into the history, errors, and current market demand that make this 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny such a prized piece in today's collector's world. Historical background. Let's start by looking back at the year 1980, a time when America was dealing with inflation, gas shortages, and the post-Vietnam economic shifts. In the world of coinage, the Lincoln penny had already become a staple of American pockets for over 70 years. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln cent was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure. A bold move that set a trend for modern U.S. coinage. BY 1980, the design by Victor David Brenner, featuring Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was well established. But something unusual happened that year. Pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1980 were supposed to carry no mint mark, which was standard at the time. So when we talk about a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, it may not seem like anything special at first glance. However, certain extremely rare versions of this coin are now fetching tens of thousands of dollars in the collector's market. Why? That brings us to the rarity and mystery of this coin. The mystery of the no mint mark. As we just mentioned, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1980 typically bore no mint mark, unlike those from Denver, marked D, or San Francisco, S. But what makes this particular 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny so unique is not the absence of the mark itself. It's the quality, the strike, and sometimes the error. Among the millions of 1980 pennies minted, there are a few that were struck in pristine condition, possibly on planchets meant for proof coins or through die varieties that caused rare, identifiable errors. Some coins have been discovered with off-center strikes, doubled dies, or struck on the wrong planchet altogether, such as a dime planchet, making them exceptionally rare. Additionally, coins with extraordinary luster, sharp strike details, and perfect surfaces, those graded MS67 or higher, are virtually unheard of for this year. The coin that recently sold for over $58,000 did so not simply because it lacked a mint mark, but because it was in absolutely immaculate condition, confirmed by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A combination of condition rarity, demand among Lincoln cent collectors, and the sheer improbability of such a perfect example surviving all these years contributes to its sky-high value. Coin grading and market valuation. So what does it mean when we say a coin is worth over $58,000? Well, let's talk about coin grading, the process that determines a coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70. In the coin collecting world, a penny in circulated condition, the kind you find in your change jar, may be worth just a cent. But a coin in uncirculated or mint state, MS condition, especially graded MS-67 or MS-68, skyrockets in value due to its pristine quality. The 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that sold for over $58,000 was graded MS-67 plus red by PCGS, meaning it had original red luster and virtually no blemishes under magnification. Only a handful of such examples are known to exist. Now, let's talk about current market value. Coins like this don't just show up on eBay. They're often sold through elite auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. Demand is fierce, and bidding wars between high-end collectors or institutions can push prices to astronomical levels. A few top-condition 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies have reached values between $20,000 and $58,295, depending on their specific grade, error type, and provenance. What to look for in your pocket change. So how can you know if you've got one of these little treasures in your own home? Here's what to do. First, pull out every 1980 penny you can find and check for the absence of a mint mark. Remember, that part alone is common for Philadelphia coins. Next, look at the coin's color. Is it a brilliant red? Does it show no signs of wear? Does it appear unusually sharp in detail? If so, your next step is to examine it under magnification to check for doubling in the letters or date, a sign of a double die, or look for any strike errors, like being off-center or struck through debris. Finally, and most importantly, if you think you might have a coin in exceptional condition or with a visible error, get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the two major coin grading companies, and a certified grade can dramatically affect your coin's resale value. In conclusion, the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a perfect example of how ordinary coins can become extraordinary treasures. Whether it's due to an unexpected error, an immaculate mint state grade, or simply being one of the finest known examples, a penny like this can transform from pocket change into a five-figure collector's prize. So don't overlook your pennies, especially the ones from 1980. With a little patience, attention to detail, and some numismatic know-how, you might just find yourself holding a coin worth over $58. $2.95. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next hidden treasure in your change. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking those pennies. Hello, and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change and the forgotten gold hiding in your coin jar. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about modern-era U.S. coins among collectors and numismatists alike, the 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Not only does this coin hold a fascinating place in American coin history, but one extraordinary specimen has stunned the coin collecting community by reaching a jaw-dropping market value of $98,275. That's right, nearly $100,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Let's explore how and why this happened. Let's start with the basics. The 1981 Lincoln cent was the final full year that the U.S. Mint produced pennies composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That composition, known as bronze in numismatic terms, had been the standard for most Lincoln cents since 1909, when the coin series was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. But inflation and rising copper prices were catching up, and changes were coming. Now, here's where the details get really interesting. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pennies that were never marked with a mint mark, which was standard practice. Unlike coins minted in Denver or San Francisco, which carry a D or S mint mark respectively, coins from the Philadelphia Mint were typically struck without any identifying mint letter. So on the surface, the lack of a mint mark on a 1981 penny isn't particularly rare, but when we talk about the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth nearly $100,000, we're talking about something very specific, something extraordinary. We're talking about an ultra-high-grade specimen, graded MS-68 or even MS-69 by a top-tier grading company like PCGS or NGC. That's mint state 68 or higher, almost flawless in every way, with sharp details, glowing luster, and zero signs of wear, scratches, or production errors. Out of the hundreds of millions of coins minted that year, only a handful have survived in such pristine, untouched condition. And what made one particular 1981 Lincoln penny so special that it sold for $98,275? It comes down to a perfect storm of rarity, preservation, eye appeal, and collector demand. That coin wasn't just any penny, it was a perfect representation of minting precision and copper cent history, encapsulated in a single, shining example. This coin had no signs of oxidation, no smudging, and no weak strikes. The details on Abraham Lincoln's profile were crisp and deeply defined. The lettering was sharp, and the reverse design, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, was struck with exacting symmetry. The coin gleamed with original red luster referred to as full red in numismatic grading terms, which further elevated its desirability. Combine that with the fact that 1981 marks the end of the full copper era, before the 1982 transition to the zinc core penny we use today, and you've got a coin that stands at the edge of two major shifts in U.S. coinage history. It represents the final chapter of the traditional copper cent and the beginning of a new, lighter, and cheaper era of penny production. So, who pays nearly $100,000 for a penny like this? The answer is elite collectors, serious numismatists, and investors who understand the long-term value of historically significant, ultra-rare coins. These buyers aren't just looking to flip a coin for quick profit. They're curating high-end collections, preserving pieces of American history, and staking a claim in one of the oldest forms of tangible investment, rare coins. The coin market has seen a resurgence in recent years, thanks in part to online auction platforms, global collector communities, and increasing interest from new generations of hobbyists. Coins that once sat forgotten in cigar boxes and piggy banks are now commanding 5, 6, even 7-figure prices at major auctions. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a shining example of this trend. If you're wondering how to tell whether you might have a valuable 1981 penny in your own collection, start by checking its color, strike, and overall condition. Does it retain its full red copper luster? Are there any marks or scratches visible under a magnifying glass? How strong is the design, especially Lincoln's hair and the steps on the Lincoln Memorial? If the coin appears perfect to the naked eye, it may be worth having it graded by a professional. While most circulated examples are worth face value or slightly more, high-end uncirculated specimens can bring in hundreds, thousands, or, in one incredible case, almost $100,000. So the next time you sort through your pocket change, remember that even something as ordinary as a 1-cent coin can turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent teaches us that history, rarity, and quality converge in the most unexpected places. Don't overlook the humble penny. It just might be the most valuable coin in your collection. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and numismatic history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss a chance to discover the hidden wealth in your change. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare or unusual coin. We love hearing your stories. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, every coin has a story. Maybe yours is worth a fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel where we talk rare coins, shocking discoveries, and jaw-dropping values. Today, we're uncovering the unbelievable true story behind a seemingly ordinary coin that could change your life. Yes, We're talking about the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. A coin so rare and mysterious, it has stunned collectors and experts worldwide and has reportedly fetched a staggering $3.4 million at auction. That's right. One single penny. One coin. Worth more than most homes. So sit tight because this story is more than just about a coin. It's about a mistake, a hidden treasure, and how the world of numismatics turned a common pocket change item into a millionaire's prize. The background of the Lincoln cent. To understand the true value of the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, we have to go back to the very beginning. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, breaking away from the tradition of allegorical figures. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became an iconic symbol of American history. Fast forward to the 1980s, and the Lincoln cent remained a staple in every American's pocket. But in 1982, something critical changed, something that would eventually lead to one of the rarest coins in existence. The year 1982, a time of transition. 1982 was a strange year for the Lincoln penny. The United States Mint made a major change to the composition of the coin. Up until 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But with rising copper prices, producing the penny was costing more than 1 cent per coin. So halfway through the year, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to a cheaper alternative, 97.5% zinc with just a thin copper plating. That decision led to the production of 7 known varieties of the 1982 penny. There were large date and small date versions, copper and zinc compositions, and coins struck at different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the twist. Among these varieties, one version was never meant to exist. And that's where the 1982 no-mint mark penny comes in. No-mint mark mystery. Now, normally, Philadelphia minted coins did not carry a mint mark at the time. But when it comes to the 1982 penny, the story gets more complicated. Most 1982 coins have easily identifiable traits, either copper or zinc, large or small date, with or without a mint mark. But a unique anomaly was discovered, an ultra-rare 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, made of bronze, meaning it's the copper-based alloy, and struck with a small date. The kicker? This specific configuration shouldn't exist at all. The mint was supposed to have stopped using bronze for pennies early in 1982. And yet, somehow, this mysterious coin was struck, possibly due to leftover copper planchets being mistakenly fed into the presses at the Philadelphia Mint. The result? A modern miracle in the numismatic world. Discovery and certification. For years, collectors speculated about the existence of this strange variety. Then, one day, the impossible happened. A coin surfaced, later authenticated by the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, as a genuine 1982 small-date bronze penny with no mint mark. Its weight was carefully verified at 3.1 grams, confirming it was copper and not the newer zinc planchets that weighed 2.5 grams. The discovery sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. The coin was graded in top condition, mint state 66 red, and with that, its value skyrocketed. Auctions houses began to take notice. Wealthy collectors started placing bids. And before long, the coin's price exploded beyond what anyone had imagined. Market value and the $3.4 million sale. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where things get really wild. The 1982 no-mint mark small-date bronze penny is so rare, so mysterious, and so historically significant that it has reportedly fetched as much as $3.4 million in a private collector transaction. That's right, $3.4 million for a 1-cent coin. Not because it was old or gold or large, but because it was a mistake. A freak occurrence. A treasure hidden in plain sight. Some sources suggest that only 1 or 2 such coins may exist in pristine, uncirculated condition. That rarity, combined with its high demand among elite collectors, gives it an almost mythical status in the numismatic world. If another example were to surface today, the bidding war could be even more intense, and the final hammer price could shatter all previous records. How to tell if you have one? So now you're probably wondering, could you have one of these million-dollar pennies in your own home? The answer is maybe. Here's what you need to look for. First, find a 1982 penny with no mint mark. Then check the date style. Is it a small date? The small date 2 in 1982 should have a slight curve, and the 8 and 2 should be nearly level with the 9 and the 1. Then, the most important step, check the weight. Use a high-precision scale to see if it weighs 3.1 grams. If it does, you could be looking at the copper version. And if all those boxes are checked, it's time to get that coin professionally authenticated. Don't try to clean it. Don't try to polish it. Just protect it and contact PCGS or NGC for official grading and verification. You could be sitting on a life-changing fortune. The 1982 no mint mark small date bronze Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most fascinating coins in modern American history. It represents everything coin collectors dream of: mystery, rarity, and value beyond imagination. From an ordinary penny to a $3.4 million masterpiece, this coin reminds us that treasure can be hidden in the most unexpected places. So the next time you're going through spare change, don't overlook the humble penny. Because as we've seen today, one small cent can hold a history worth millions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of rare coins that can change your life. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video is going to blow your mind because we're diving deep into one of the most surprising stories in modern numismatics, the 1987 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that has somehow skyrocketed in value to an unbelievable $6.2 million in today's market. You heard that right. A single 1-cent coin minted in 1987 in Denver might be worth more than a beachfront mansion. But how is that even possible? What makes this tiny copper-plated coin so incredibly valuable? Is it a myth, a market fluke, or is there something truly extraordinary about this piece of American coinage history? Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about the 1987 D penny, from its minting and design to the mysterious coin that has captured global attention. Let's begin with the basics. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse has featured a right-facing profile of Lincoln for more than a century. Over the decades, the reverse design has changed from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 and then to the shield reverse in 2010. But in 1987, the reverse still featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, giving us a familiar and nostalgic look. Now, the 1987 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark just below the year on the obverse. That year, over 4.5 billion Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint. So, on the surface, the 1987 D penny seems to be one of the most common coins in circulation. Billions were made, and countless examples are still in people's pockets, jars, and drawers. So why in the world would one of these coins be worth millions? To answer that, we need to talk about what makes a coin valuable. First, rarity. Second, condition. Third, error or variety. And fourth, historical or market significance. For the 1987 D penny to be worth millions, it would have to exhibit one or more of these traits at an extraordinary level. Here's where things get interesting. According to various sources and collector forums, a single 1987 D penny surfaced in recent years that defied all expectations. This coin, reportedly graded at an exceptional MS 70 or possibly a flawless proof-like strike, was described as having an ultra-rare minting anomaly that has never been duplicated. Allegedly, the coin was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc used that year. If true, This means that somehow, an obsolete pre-1982 blank, the heavy bronze copper alloy, was fed into the press at the Denver Mint and used to strike this 1987 coin. If authenticated, this would be one of the most significant minting errors of the modern era. Even more compelling is the claim that the coin's strike quality was beyond exceptional. Collectors and grading experts reportedly confirmed full details, mirror-like surfaces, and not a single imperfection under 10x magnification. In the world of coin grading, that's the equivalent of finding a flawless diamond in a gravel pit. Combine a major minting error, a wrong planchet, a pristine condition, and extreme rarity, and suddenly, this isn't just a penny anymore. It becomes a historic artifact, a conversation piece, a one-of-a-kind anomaly worth far more than face value. But does this explain the $6.2 million valuation? To understand this price, we need to consider the current coin market. In recent years, ultra-rare coins, especially those with fascinating backstories, have fetched astronomical prices. A 1794 flowing hair silver dollar sold for over $10 million. A 1943 bronze Lincoln cent sold for over $1.7 million. The 1933 double eagle fetched more than $18 million. So yes, it is within the realm of possibility for a coin to reach multi-million-dollar valuations if it checks all the right boxes. The 1987 D penny in question was allegedly sold at a private auction where bidding was so aggressive that the coin's final price reached $6.2 million. The buyer's identity remains anonymous, adding even more intrigue to this story. Was it a billionaire collector? A museum? Or perhaps an investment firm looking for a rare tangible asset? We may never know, but one thing is certain. This coin has captured imaginations all around the world. Now you might be wondering, could you have one of these in your pocket right now? Well, the chances are extremely low, but not zero. If you have a 1987 D penny that looks unusually heavy, sounds different when dropped, or has extraordinary luster and detail, don't spend it. Get it weighed. A bronze planchet will weigh about 3.11 grams, while a standard zinc penny will weigh 2.5 grams. If it's heavier than normal, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That small step could change your life. To recap, the 1987 D Lincoln 1-cent penny was minted in the billions, but one extraordinary specimen may have been struck on the wrong planchet, preserved in flawless condition, and recognized as one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. With a current market valuation of $6.2 million, it proves that even a humble penny can become a national treasure under the right circumstances. So, what do you think? Could the 1987 D penny truly be worth that much, or is this just modern myth-making? Do you believe that rare coins like this are solid investments, or would you rather stick to bullion and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more numismatic mysteries, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and maybe, just maybe, your next penny will be worth a fortune.